Alright, back for another beer review, and today I'll be reviewing yet another beer from Everywhere, and they're out of Orange, California, and this is It's in the Air. So this is, wait for it, a bourbon barrel-aged Imperial hot cocoa stout with both Ecuadorian origin cocoa powder and cacao nibs, milk sugar, aka lactose, marshmallow, special sprinkles, and Ecuadorian origin vanilla beans. It comes in at 14% alcohol by volume. No IBUs listed, time of review. And this bottle is just under 2 months old. I'm going to give a huge thanks shout out once again to a very good friend of mine and a viewer of the channel, Sierra Hotel, for this beer. So huge thanks to him in the description box. I'll post a link to the beer mail unboxing video I did that contains all the goodies he hooked me up with. And he hooked me up with 10 different amazing sounding beers. I have reviewed the majority of them to date. And when I saw this one in said beer mail, I was like, this sounds wild. I've never had anything from Everywhere as far as a dark beer goes. I've had a lot of their like West Coast IPAs, their hazy IPAs. This sounds insane. And shout out to a Untapped friend of mine, Dima. He's the only Untapped friend that has actually checked this in Untapped. There's only like, at the time I'm reviewing this, there's about 175-ish check-ins of this beer. And he was one of them. And he said that this is one of his favorite beers from Everywhere's Barrel Age program, their membership. He's been drinking them, I think he said, for like the last 9 months. He said this is one of the best, if not the best. And that brings me to that point of the membership. It's so cool Sierra Hotel is able to send me one of these. Like, that's insane, because this is a part of their membership, which is quite hard to get into, apparently. So it has a bunch of wax on it. And I didn't cut it or anything. I'm just going to see, can I get this off without... Yes, I can. Ooh. Oh, it's starting to rise. All right, we'll see. Let's see. Starting to rise. And there we go. So I kept this cold the entire time, but it was shipped across the country. It's pouring out like motor oil. It's pouring out very fizzy, though. So, oh my God, it smells wild. I'm not going to pour the entire thing right now. I don't know if I'm drinking this entire thing tonight. So it did burst out. So that is a bad sign. Very carbonated, though, in the bottle. But I will say this. It smelled gnarly when I started pouring it out there. So 14% Imperial hot cocoa stout, bourbon barrel aged hot cocoa stout. So what does that look like? Well, to you, it's probably going to look pitch black. All right, let me shake this up and let me put it up to the mic so you can hear the carbonation. It's like cocoa, or sorry, it's like cocoa. It's like soda pop. Maybe they started re-fermenting a little bit. I don't know, but it's been less than 2 months since I've gotten it. So yeah, it's crazy. I don't know. Anyway, so there's no head, probably from all of the adjuncts. There's no head. This has this murky brown kind of look to it. On camera, I don't know if that's going to come off as me more like pitch black or maybe just a very dark brown. Hold it up to the light. Yeah, you can't see through it, but it is definitely dark brown. It kind of looks like a flat, like Dr. Pepper or something, talking about soda. There are alcohol legs all around here. I wouldn't say necessarily sheets, but definitely legs. But anyway, let's get a nose. It doesn't look great. Like, I mean, if you look at that, it looks like, like a flat soda pop. That's what it looks like. But let's get a nose. Jesus Christ. It smells like fucking hot chocolate, like hot cocoa. Like it's to a T. Oh my God. Well, put it this way. If you like hot cocoa, hot chocolate, based on the aroma, this is fucking nailing it. There's a little bit of barrel presence here in the nose, more vanilla than anything, but they're also using vanilla beans. You know what this actually smells like? Shout out to a very good friend of mine, fellow beer tuber, Dan over at FLX Beer Reviews. He likes this, and he's mentioned this before. Wegmans Ultimate Chocolate Cake. It smells like that condensed into like a huge barrel-aged Imperial Stout. It's fudgy, it's brownie batter, it's huge chocolate, it's like mousse, it's like, it's crazy. Almost like a chocolate pudding kind of a feel, like a, but again, I do get hot cocoa out of this, like I get hot chocolate for sure. The barrel, like I said, is there, but it's like accentuating just the vanilla, and there's a little bit of like more of, the barrel being there is more of like an oaky kind of feel, or just like a generic barrel age, which might sound bad, but I'm actually glad like the bourbon's not dominating, because this is all about the chocolate. Like, it's a rich fudgy chocolate, a little bit of roasted malt, vanilla. They're using marshmallow and special sprinkles. I think it's just like amplifying the vanilla. Dude, this smells wild. This smells wild. It smells like it's gonna be fucking sweet. It's 14%, all those, I don't know. I'm on the fence with whether or not I'm gonna enjoy this one, right? It smells awesome, could be too sweet, might be too much of like confectionery. I don't know, there's only one way to find out. So cheers everybody. Thanks again to Sierra Hotel. Please be absolutely fucking delicious. Oh my God, the fucking finish. All right, let's not jump to conclusions. I don't have a jump to conclusions, Matt. This is an office space, although maybe it should be. All right, let's go on for another sip. Let's not get crazy. Let's just proper review, Joe. Dial it the fuck in, buddy. Body is full. It's thick, it's chewy. It has a viscosity like when you first take the sip, you're like, yeah, this is a full body beer. It's not overly done. It's not like you're fucking a fruit smoothie sour where you're like chewing on it, beyond belief, or it's like, like a slushy or something, right? But it's full for what it should be. And even though it's barrel aged, it doesn't thin out on the back of the palate like some of them I've been noticing lately. Shout out to Paul over at PA Brew News, who kind of like, mentioned that in a review, and then I started looking for him, like, yeah, he's kind of right. That's not happening here. So body's outstanding. Mouthfeel, despite seeing the carbonation and seeming like it maybe underwent a secondary fermentation in the bottle, maybe ever so slightly. You got all those, confectionery things going on, especially like the marshmallows and special sprinkles. It can happen. The carbonation is mild to moderate. It looks flat, but it's not. It is definitely smooth, not really creamy, but it's smooth, it's soft to some degree. So I was worried that'd be way too carbonated just over the top, but I think the mouthfeel's fine. It's not amazing, it's fine. The taste is fucking, how to explain this? Despite all of the crazy adjuncts in this and what I read off at the beginning and everything, this is not overly complex. But what's here is exactly what I was hoping that was here, with a couple things that are slight disappointments. But all right, let me taste it again. Oh, what the? I just went back for I didn't take a sip for like a minute, right? Minute and a half, 2 minutes talking about. I just got completely something different. This is fucking wild. Let me take back. Let me roll that back and say this is complex, because that second sip was just wild and way different. Okay. There's a little bit of a roasted malt quality at the beginning. Very faint, but it's there. And it's like, okay, it's a beer, right? And then that's where the beer kind of goes to the wayside. There is so much chocolate character in here. It's hard to describe. Is it fudgy chocolate? Yes. Is it brownie batter? Sure. Is it sweet dark chocolate? Yeah. Is it like a bitter and baker's chocolate? Sure. Is it a cakey, that Wegmans ultimate cake? Yeah, you could say that. For no questions asked. Like it's all that, right? It's all the different nuanced yet complex chocolate character. Okay. Right after that, however, a big blast of vanilla, and that could be coming from the lactose, could be coming from the marshmallow. Probably coming from the vanilla bean as well. Could be coming from the barrel. So it's like you, instead of that Wegmans ultimate chocolate cake, if instead in the middle you had like a vanilla frosting in the middle, but still had like the chocolate frosting on the outside, that's more of like the realm in which I would say, because it has both of them, right? That's the first half of the palate, but there's this underlying too, like sweeter cherry vibe that's giving me, and as I said, I went back, something completely different. I'm getting Black Forest cake with like a hint of like a toasted coconut. That's what I got on like that last sip. I don't know what's going on. I'm just trying to tell you what I taste. My palate's getting acclimated to it. Is this sweet? It is fucking sweet. All right. Is it cloying? How do you define cloying? Because is it cloying as in like I'm going to get sick of this after 2 or 3 ounces? No, because I already had that. Do I have to drink this entire 500 milliliter bottle to say it's cloying? If I did, then yeah, it is, because I don't think I could take down this entire bottle at once. I'm glad I saved half of it, and I'll cap it, put it in the fridge, drink it tomorrow, because what's happening is that each sip is, maybe it's not like too like crazy sweet from a confectionery standpoint, but it's very rich. It's almost like a dessert where you're, after a couple bites of dessert, you're like, oh, I don't know if I'll be able to finish this. Too rich, right? That's what this beer is, too rich. The second half of the palate does introduce some characters that kind of, stop the beer from getting to that cloying point, right? Kind of restrains the sweetness to some degree. So second half of the palate is like an oaky kind of, oak character, a little bit of that bourbon. The bourbon isn't, like, I'm not getting the actual spirit, it's more just the barrel itself. So there's more like oak and vanilla than anything. Finish is semi-dry. There's no bitterness to speak of. I'm not getting any bitterness here, but semi-dry. There's also a little bit of like a, like those special sprinkles they say, so whatever sprinkles. It does have that like confectionery kind of like sprinkle vibe to it. Would I ever call that out if I was doing this blind? There's no way I'd be like, oh, there's sprinkles in there, because it doesn't necessarily taste exactly like that, but I get it. Oh yeah, I forgot, 14%. Yeah, big warmer in my chest. On the palate, no, I would guess like 11, 12. So it hides it well from that perspective. This to me is the definition of a sharing beer, whether you're sharing it with one other person or maybe 2 or 3 other people. I think I would be good with like 4 to 5 ounces of this. So let's say you share it between 3 people. I think that'd be perfect. You get like, just over 5 ounces for everybody. It's a very rich, tasty beer. If you're in the mood for a pastry stout, this would definitely satiate whatever kind of feeling you have at that point for a pastry beer, like to a T. I get why they call it Imperial Hot Cocoa Stout, because I do, outside of that, like cakey, I said Black Forest cake, Wegmans Ultimate, chocolate cake, all that stuff, you could say hot chocolate. The nose screamed more hot chocolate and hot cocoa than the taste, but I can definitely see it in the taste as well. It's so good. It really is. It's a sipper though. It might take me another half an hour just to drink whatever, the 3-4 ounces in my glass. Like, it might take a while. Yeah, so let's rate it. I'm going to give Everywhere's It's in the Air, the Bourbon Barrel Aged Imperial Hot Cocoa Stout. I'm going to give this, oh Jesus Christ. I'm gonna nail it a little bit for the mouthfeel, just a little bit, and the sweetness. But outside of that, I'm not really like it's kind of set out to do what they want it to do. So I'm gonna give this a low 4.75 and go 4.65. I think that's where this one lands for me. It's fucking delicious. I like it. Dare I say I love it, but like this would be like if I was at a beer fest and I got a pour of this, 4 or 5, I might give it a 5 just because it's like, oh, I only got 3 or 4 ounces. I drink. I'm like, oh, it's fucking exactly what it says it is. But when you're breaking it down on camera and doing a review that's probably gonna be 15 to 18 minutes long because I don't know how to stop talking. This is one of those beers where, yeah, it might be a bit too much for everyone out there. Yeah, anyway, we're going to throw this over here and talk price point availability. So price point availability, this is where it goes a little bit wonky. But again, it's a membership program. I think these were $35 up for a 500 milliliter bottle. I know, settle down. Would I buy this again at $35 a bottle? Well, I didn't buy it to begin with because Sierra Hotel is incredibly generous. He was nice enough to send me one, which is just absurd. So I did not. If I was at Everywhere and I could buy this again, would I? I would not. Because you're talking about around $2 an ounce, and I don't think this beer justifies $2 an ounce for me personally. However, if I was at Everywhere and I had the ability to buy this and I never had it before, I would have paid $35 to try it for sure. So I don't fault anybody who bought this, but I don't think let's say they were to release this again, I was in their membership program, I wouldn't rebuy it. Or I would buy it to maybe trade it, which I know sounds shitty, but like, when you go into the whole like secondary market and, trading beers and stuff, people do that. So I can see somebody doing that. But for me personally, like $35 is expensive and I don't think this would justify it based on what I'm tasting, but it's still fun to try once. And availability, like I said, it's in their membership program. So if you're not a part of Everywhere's membership program or you don't trade for beers, you're probably not getting your hands on this one. I wouldn't have, outside of Sierra Hotel being just a... Sierra Hotel is just, there's no words to describe him. He's just so generous and just above and beyond anything that I've ever come across when it comes to beer. Like for him to send me beers like this and just want to know my opinion, and we chat on Instagram like every other day or so. Like, I don't know. I don't know what I did to deserve this, but I don't know. I'm kind of at a loss for words right now, other than, thanks to Sierra Hotel. Thanks to anybody who's ever sent me any beers. Like it's cool to be able to break down beers like this on camera. And talk about them and give them honest opinions. like I said, at the end of the day, the way I would sum this one up is try it out once if you get your hands on it, but after drinking it, I wouldn't buy it again. But they pretty much nailed what they're going for. A little bit more barrel, better mouthfeel, and I think toned down the sweetness a bit, and I would like it a little bit more, but like it's still, I gave it a 4.65. It's still delicious. I'm going to finish the rest of this in the next, like I said, half an hour or so. Probably be feeling pretty toasty after that, and yeah, we're going to shut it down. 14%, like I said, drinks more like 11 or 12, so it hides it relatively well. You still know it's a big beer, and I don't think I missed anything with this one. So huge thanks to Sierra Hotel for this one. Thanks to everybody stopping by for another beer review here in the Beer Patrol. If you've had anything from everywhere, not specifically this beer, but if you had anything for their membership program or any beers from them in general, post a comment section. Even if it's just like, you know, a hop forward West Coast IPA or whatever, just let me know. I think they do some really good stuff based on what I've had. They've been killing it. And it's cool to be able to try a huge, crazy beer like this after having their hop forward beers, because you get to see kind of what they're doing. And yeah, anyway, we're going to shut it down. Appreciate it. To the next one. Cheers.